Good morning, everyone. This is the third day of sub-zero temperatures at Fairhaven Farm. Although Fairhaven is beautiful in the wintertime, it's not easy on any of us. So if you heard that little nicker, that's from Fancy. They've been in their stalls at night, although they don't particularly like that. It helps them to stay warm, and then they come out during the daytime when the sun is out. So first they start with their medications, which I kindly hide in a little piece of apple. Good morning, Symphony. Hi, good girl. So this is our 18-hand percher on Symphony. She's a big baby. And she's already looking for her arthritis medicine. Aren't you? There's Fancy nickering again. So I'm just going to put it in this little apple slice. So that's how I hide it. She's really happy for her morning treat. Good girl. And we'll go down to Miss Fancy, who's the vocal one. And she's our boss mare. She is smart and feisty. That's why she's a redhead. And she gets a medication for her Cushing's disease, which is Presend. He's waiting too. I just push it in the little apple piece. There you go, baby. Oh, good girl. Yeah. So no trouble giving medications. They're ready to come outside. The next thing we need to deal with in this cold temperatures is frozen hoses. So I used to have heated hoses and paid a lot of money for them, but they didn't last through the season. And so my lifeline is this retractable hose. And each day I just disconnect it and bring it in the house. So it's lightweight, it's easy to deal with, and we just connect it every day. There we go. We also have 2 water troughs outside, and the steam is rising from them. So they have a choice. And each stall has heated buckets. Symphony has 2 buckets and Fancy has 1. So for a horse with Cushing's, it's important to control their sugar intake. And so we put our hay in nets, the slow feeding nets, and we have to soak them every day. Oh, this is frozen. There we go. So I have mug tubs that have only ever had water in them. And luckily we have this little section that has a bit of a hill, so the water will drain down. In the summertime, I run the hose out there, and there's a wash area and hitching post next to the hay barn with rubber mats underneath all that snow, and I soak my hay and drain over there. So we simply put the hay in there, put the little latches on top so they don't get frozen. Just like that. We get our lovely expandable hose. And this is really nice and easy for people. I'm gonna run it back over here. And what I do is this little nozzle's got a notch on it. And so when I turn it on, I just put that little notch on the bottom of the hay bag and it will fill. I give it a few minutes. I let it soak about 25 minutes. I set an alarm for 25 minutes. It doesn't mean I need to jump up and run outside. It gives me a few minutes. That's the minimum. We usually do about 30, so it gives me time to gear up, put all my layers back on, to come out to dump the hay. The hay is heavy, and it's wet, and it's cold, so I usually let it sit there a bit while I clean the stalls or the shed for the day. And this has to be done no matter the temperature to save Fancy's hooves. She's recovered so well. Every time the farrier sees her, he comments on how well she recovered. And we'll put in another section about caring for a horse during a laminitis episode. But right now it's managing a horse with Cushing's disease. You feed Purina Senior Feed. They get their supplements in the evening time. And I'm usually doing this, excuse me, I'm usually doing this at 3:30 in the morning in the dark. But today I'm off of work. Good girl. Good girl. Back, back. Good girl. Lots of poop. Oh my goodness. And us equestrians know that that's a good thing. Oh, you're a good girl. There's her hay net from last night. She drank half a bucket there and a little bit there. And we got icicles in the sunshine. Today it's supposed to hopefully go up to the 30s. It's going to be a heat wave. It's been brutally cold here. Hi, baby. So even though Fancy's the one with Cushing's, we have to soak both of their hay because they share. Here you go. Lots of poop in here. Which is good. And she drank half a bucket, which is really good for Fancy. She's an Arabian, so she doesn't drink much at all. Sometimes it's difficult to get her to drink, and with cold temperatures, I've been taking the leftover part of a Himalayan salt lick after they've licked it enough that it falls off the rope, and I've crushed it and just put a little bit in their feed at night to help them be a little bit more thirsty and have increased water intake. So it's full. The hay has risen up. So we're going to turn this off. Push it down. And go ahead and turn off the hydrant. You hear it. Just get the extra water out. And then roll it up and put it in the bucket. And I keep it in the closet. Hi, Fancy. I know you're done eating, baby. So here's the dry lot that the horses are in. And then that's the back part of the dogs area. And a section I call the runway. So we open it up and let them go to the front pasture for 15 minutes of fun. But it's more pasture that could be used for abused animals or animals that need to be rescued. All right, 25 minutes have gone by, probably really about 35. Time to dump the hay. So when I dump the hay, it's going to be brown. Probably just dirt colorings from the hay. And I just keep a hold of this because we're going downhill. And that's the water that comes out. That's normal. Dump the other one. And we're going to let those drain. We want them to drain so they're lighter. Less water will get on me when I hang them, and less will drip in the shed, causing an ice issue. If your horses are blanketed, as mine, and they have closures in the front, we want to make sure that their buckles don't get caught in the nets. So I'm going to show you that next. The hay is hung a little off the floor to keep it clean, and there's no pawing, although our horses are barefoot, but not too high so that when they get down towards the bottom, they really need to reach down and eat naturally. So Symphony is enjoying her new hay, although she was happily eating the old hay from yesterday, and she will finish that up. And Fancy is, of course, eating her new hay that also she was eating the old hay. And that's it. These two are happy and healthy and spoiled. Love them. Our two girls have bonded over the years. Even though Fancy, the redhead, is the boss, she'll allow Symphony to eat with her. We have some body expression and facial ears back every once in a while, but just to keep everybody in line. And the two of them are quite bonded. When the farrier comes and one is taken away from the other, there's all kinds of calling and commotion until they're back together.